Today, we're diving into one of the most critical topics shaping the global economy in 2025, debt sustainability and fiscal policy in a high-interest rate environment. With interest rates at multi-decade highs and governments around the world grappling with soaring debt levels, this issue isn't just for policymakers, it affects everything from your savings account to the price of goods and services. Let's break it down and understand what's really going on, why it matters, and what it means for the future. First, let's set the stage. Over the past few years, global debt has skyrocketed. According to the International Monetary Fund, IMF, global public debt now exceeds 100% of global GDP, a level not seen since World War II. But here's the twist. Central banks, in their fight against inflation, have raised interest rates aggressively. In 2025, we're seeing rates at levels we haven't experienced in decades. This combination of high debt and high interest rates is creating a perfect storm for fiscal policymakers. Now, let's talk about debt sustainability. Simply put, debt sustainability is about whether a country can manage its debt without resorting to default or drastic measures like austerity. In a high interest rate environment, the cost of servicing debt, meaning the interest payments governments have to make, increases significantly. For example, if a country has a debt to GDP ratio of 100% and interest rates rise from 2% to 5%, the interest payments alone could consume a huge chunk of their budget. This leaves less room for critical spending on healthcare, education, and infrastructure. And for emerging markets, the situation is even more dire, as they often borrow in foreign currencies, making them vulnerable to exchange rate shocks. Let's look at some real-world examples. Countries like Argentina, Sri Lanka, and Ghana have already faced debt crises in recent years. In 2025, more nations are at risk, especially those with weak fiscal discipline and high exposure to external debt. But it's not just emerging markets. Even advanced economies like the United States, Japan, and Italy are feeling the pressure. The US national debt, for instance, has surpassed $37 trillion, and rising interest rates are making it increasingly expensive to service that debt. To put this into perspective, even a 1% increase in interest rates adds hundreds of billions of dollars in additional annual debt servicing costs. So, what can governments do to address this? This is where fiscal policy comes into play. Fiscal policy refers to how governments adjust their spending and taxation to influence the economy. In a high interest rate environment, governments face tough choices. 1. Cut spending. This can help reduce deficits, but it often comes at the cost of economic growth and social welfare. 2. Raise taxes. Increasing revenue can help, but it can also slow down economic activity and be politically unpopular. 3. Debt restructuring. This involves renegotiating the terms of debt, but it can damage a country's credit rating and investor confidence. The challenge is finding the right balance, stimulating growth while maintaining fiscal discipline. Another key player in this space is the International Monetary Fund, IMF, and other multilateral institutions. They often step in to provide financial assistance and policy advice to countries in distress. But here's the catch. IMF programs usually come with strict conditions, like austerity measures and structural reforms. While these can help stabilize economies in the short term, they can also lead to social unrest and political instability, as we've seen in countries like Greece during the Eurozone crisis. Looking ahead, the path to debt sustainability isn't easy, but it's not impossible. Here are a few potential solutions. 1. Economic growth. Faster growth can help reduce debt to GDP ratios, but this requires investment in productivity and innovation. 1. For instance, policies that encourage technology adoption and improve workforce skills can drive long-term growth. 2. Debt relief initiatives. For the most vulnerable countries, debt relief or forgiveness could be a lifeline. 2. Global cooperation among creditors can ensure a more coordinated and effective approach to debt restructuring. 3. Stronger global cooperation. Addressing global challenges like climate change and pandemics can reduce the need for emergency borrowing. 3. By pooling resources and sharing expertise, nations can better prepare for future crises. 4. Proactive fiscal management. Governments need to prioritize transparency and efficiency in public spending. 4. Building fiscal buffers during good economic times ensures they are better prepared for downturns. Another important aspect to consider is the role of technology and innovation in fiscal management. Digital tools can improve tax collection efficiency, reduce corruption, and make public spending more transparent. Governments that embrace technology are better positioned to optimize their budgets and maintain credibility with both citizens and international investors. For example, blockchain technology is being explored in several countries to enhance financial transparency and reduce inefficiencies. By ensuring that funds are allocated and spent as intended, these tools can play a vital role in promoting fiscal discipline. Public awareness and engagement are also critical. Citizens need to understand how fiscal policies affect them and why certain decisions, like tax increases or spending cuts, might be necessary. Transparent communication from policymakers can build trust and ensure smoother implementation of reforms. What does all this mean for you? Whether you're an investor, a business owner, or just someone trying to make sense of the economy, understanding debt sustainability and fiscal policy is crucial. Here are some practical takeaways. 1. Monitor interest rates. High rates impact everything from loan costs to investment returns. 1. Stay informed and plan accordingly. 2. Diversify investments. In uncertain times, a diversified portfolio can help manage risk. 3. Stay engaged. Policies on debt and fiscal management shape the broader economy. 3. Advocate for transparency and sustainability in government actions. 4. Build financial resilience. On a personal level, focus on reducing high-interest debt and building an emergency fund to weather economic uncertainties. Debt sustainability and fiscal policy are complex but vital topics that affect everyone. These decisions shape the economic landscape we all live in. If you found this breakdown helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. And let me know in the comments, what do you think governments should prioritize? Reducing debt or stimulating growth? Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next video.